The OBS Sub-Engine Mini. HeavenGifts.com sent me the OBS Sub-Engine Mini for the purpose of this review. This is a 3.5 milliliter tank. You can get it in either silver or black, and it costs $30. All right, here's the OBS Sub-Engine Mini. This is the smaller version of the OBS Sub-Engine. The full-size model is a 5.3 milliliter tank. The Sub-Engine Mini is a 3.5 milliliter tank. You get the atomizer, spare glass tank, an extra coil, you get a manual, and some spare O-rings. So it's a 3.5 mil tank. This is silver, stainless steel, 23 millimeter diameter, comes with a 0.3 ohm single coil, and the coil supports 40 to 100 watts. And it comes with one already installed and an additional coil there, and a spare glass tank. It has topside filling, an airflow circulation system, 17 millimeter organic cotton coils. This is a silver model, but you can also get it in black. It's made of 304 stainless steel, and this is glass. It stands at 54.5 millimeters, 23 millimeters in width, 510 threading, and because it's top filling, it's practically leak proof. It can't leak from the airflow holes because the airflow holes are at the top. Unless the tank is upside down, then it might leak, but it hasn't in my experience. And it has a unique airflow circulation system. The air comes in through the top, goes in, and then comes back through the middle, through the chimney. This is a palm drip tip. Drip tip has 2 O-rings on it, so it's pretty secure. Less likely to leak and less likely to fall out. Pretty wide, and it is a 510 connection, so you can fit any 510 sized drip tip in there, and this whole piece comes out. This is all one solid piece, it doesn't come apart. And this is where the airflow comes in. It might be hard to see in there, but the airflow is inside there. Here is where the e-juice sits. There's no way for the e-juice, even tipped upside down, to get inside there where the airflow holes are, so there's no way of this tank leaking. O-rings on both sides of the glass here, and this comes off. One O-ring here on the bottom. This cage feels very thin, but it seems sturdy. There's the base. Coil just screws into it. This is also very thin and very light. 510 pin doesn't stick out very far. Looks like it's a gold-plated pin. And the coils that it comes with. So very large diameter coils, 0.2 ohms. They handle 40 to 100 watts, and you can see that they are notch coils inside there. OBS actually had some performance issues with these coils. People were complaining about poor flavor, and they released a new set of coils. So I got a pack of 3 of new coils for the sub-engine tanks, and these are redesigned coils. So on the outside, they look practically the same, right? But the inside is totally different. So rather than the notch coil, which a lot of people don't like, these are Clapton coils. So these are 0.3 ohm coils. They handle 50 to 100 watts, and they recommend best around 65 to 85 watts. And from what I understand, all sub-engine tanks, the mini and the full size, are now being packaged with these Clapton coils. And the threading is on the outside here. It's a very large coil, so the threading is right there on the inside of this coil. Let's use some of this caramel apple from Creme de la Creme. It's a good e-juice, I like it. So I'm just gonna prime the coil a little bit. It's a little hard to line up these threads, but once they're on there, it feels good, nice and tight. And let's fill her up. Those e-juice fill holes are really big, so this tank is really easy to fill up. Once it's full, you just close that up and let it sit for about 30 seconds if it's a new coil, just to let that e-juice saturate into the cotton, and then you're ready to vape. Oh, and this is the airflow, so it does turn. It's pretty stiff at first, and that's good because then at least you know that it's not going to be spinning around on you while you're vaping. You can get a lot of airflow through here. And just to give you an idea of the size difference, they look practically identical. There's just a very slight difference, but you can see in this one that there's more space in between the glass and the chimney. The height is the same, the width is different. So if you opt for the larger version, it's not that big of a difference. If you saw my review for the full-size OBS engine sub-tank, you probably already know what I'm going to say here, because this tank is nearly identical except for the size. But I've actually noticed that I do get more flavor out of this smaller model than I did out of the full-size model, which could be because it's more compact and there's less room in here for the flavor to escape before it reaches the mouthpiece. It's a decent tank that performs pretty nicely at around 60 or 70 watts, but the coils taste a little funny at 100 watts. The original notch coils weren't very good, but the new Clapton coils improve on that flavor quite a bit, but it's still not as flavorful as I would prefer. I actually really like everything about this tank except for the coils. It must have something to do with the way the airflow moves through the wide open area of the coil head, and I really hope that OBS keeps working on these coils because this is a tank that I would like to use.